Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first live session by AFPAPA Affiliates, where we're going to be talking about super hot topic. I mean, is there any topic hotter right now than DMCAs? Maybe AI optimization, but this one has actually real impact on all of you. So welcome. We are very happy you're joining us. You find the time to come and spend time with us. I have got amazing guests. One is still coming, so it's going to be more of us. But let's introduce the topic. Fake DMCAs. They became a real problem for everyone in our industry, but don't worry, not just our industry. It is everywhere. But we are in iGaming, so we're going to be talking about iGaming, how this is hitting us, hurting us, how we're solving it. I will shortly introduce the idea behind DMCA and then how it became a warfare. Bill Clinton has signed a bill in 1998 because we started to live digital life. We moved our blogs online. We started to create videos for YouTube. We started to share pictures once it became available. And all of this is yours. You have got copyrights to that. So good old Bill thought, let's protect this. Let's create Digital Millennial Copyright Act that will protect this. So if someone uses your picture or your song without you telling them it's okay, you can complain and there'll be actions. So they cannot make money off your creativity. Unfortunately, Bill wasn't visionary enough and he didn't think that in 2025-26, in iGaming, there'll be a nasty people turning this into a digital weapon where this can actually really hurt your earnings the other way around by saying, I own this copyright and they are stealing it, even that's not true. Problem of DMCAs is that they are very successful. You send a takedown and your pages disappear because Google legally needs to de-index them. Google is not doing anything wrong according to US legislation. However, their system is broken because it was not designed for negative SEO attacks. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. What are we seeing? What are the main problems? How is this problem sort of evolving? Because I'm doing DMCAs for many months now, and every week it feels like there is some new way of attack. And how we're sorting this out and what we think will need to change. There will be time for your questions. So listen to us, feel free to think of your questions and start to pop them into our chat. We will get to them. And I hope you will get out of these sessions what you need. If you are under DMCA attacks, I'm very sorry. I hope it will be helpful. If you are not sure, then maybe we will help you discover if this is your problem or not. Pray for you that is not. Now to my guests. I have got 4 amazing guests. I'll start with a lady, Emma. Hello, Emma. Emma is from Gentoo. She is a director of publishing and she speaks in lots of conferences and podcasts. So the chances are you already know her. Hello, Emma. Shortly about yourself, please.
Hi, Ivana. Thank you for having me and same with AFPAPA. As you said, my name is Emma. I'm based here in Malta and I've been doing a lot of podcasts and speaking stuff mainly around content, and that is my area of expertise. So I hope to add some insights there.
I'm sure you will be because this is attacking content. So it's basically attacking you. So very good to have you. Now we have Misha from SlotCatalog, affiliate, which is really relevant because they are the ones probably suffering the most. I'm not saying operators are not, but it is more like an affiliate cancer, what we're curing here. So Misha, shortly about yourselves and shortly how you feel about DMCAs.
Thanks, Ivan, and good to be here. As you said, I'm from SlotCatalog. Actually, I'm Chief Business Officer at SlotCatalog, and we are not only affiliate, but we are slot and casino discovery platform. So, we run both B2B side and B2C affiliate side with operators. So that's why this topic sits very close to us. And, you also mentioned Bill Clinton, and as a Ukrainian, we also know that Bill signed Budapest Memorandum, which is unfortunate for us as well. So we have this joke about him that he is very bad when it's come to signing some document within the Ukrainian SEO community. So thank you, and thanks for having me.
I don't know. He was busy with Monica when he was thinking of those things. What can we say? Sean, welcome. Sean is from Game Changer. He's a huge name in SEO. He's an educator. He's a person that says things as they are, goes to podcasts, goes to conferences, always has a very, very big opinions about things. And unfortunately, usually he's right. So Sean, welcome.
Thank you. I guess with an introduction like that, I should start off by saying that I've actually learned a lot about this subject, just like everyone else, not because I wanted to, right? So I saw this DMCA filing thing many, many years ago, and I'm thinking, I wonder if this can be used for something nefarious. But obviously I don't think that way, and I just kept on with my day. Then 2020, 2021, 2022 hit, and you start seeing it slowly creeping in. And, you know, as Misha, Daniel, and yourself will probably know, is that nowadays SEO is no longer about getting to number one, it's learning how to stay there. So our job has completely changed from what it used to be, which was, you know, a gentleman's game of identifying the different opportunities you could utilize to get to number one. And unfortunately now there seems to be didn't start, right? It's been going on for ages, but DMCA is really bad because DMCA just removes you from the search results in a very, very short period of time. So negative SEO has always existed. It's always been a problem. I mean, DMCA just flipped everything on its head, let's be honest. So I guess that's where I can start from.
Yeah, the DMCAs are a joy. And as you said, we all learn it because we had to, not that we really wanted to. We are SEOs, we love to build. And now you're like, just please stay visibly top 10. Oh no, gone. It is a problem. And now Daniel is a more black hat SEO. He is as well a developer, and he looks at problems from different point of view than SEOs only or content people only. And here I want to say, none of us here are against black hat SEO. Black hat SEO are simply tricks that Google does not love, but they help you rank, such as traffic push or traffic manipulation, buying links, creating PBNs, all of that. We all tried, we all know if we love them or not, but it's not unethical. Negative SEO attacks, on the other hand, are very unethical. DMCAs, fake DMCA submissions, are illegal. Okay, so we are against unethical and illegal practices. We are not against black hat or gray hat tactics that helps you be visible. I want to make the distinctions because I get lots of messages like, you are saying this is bad, I don't know what you're doing, but black hat is not bad. I'm not saying black hat is bad, I'm saying unethical is bad, illegal is even worse. So Daniel, we're not gonna hate you just because you have got, you know, black hat and black t-shirt today. You know, none of us hate black hat, but introduce yourself, and you are here because you created a tool that can help us with that. So that will be a completely different point of view, but shortly about you.
Thanks, Ivana. Long introduction. Yeah, now people start to do black hat SEO and I have more competitors. But yeah, I'm the founder of Linksect and I'm very deep into SEO. Black hat SEO is more technical, that's why I like it. But in general, I like also to call it effective or competitive SEO because doing what works is the key in the end. And of course, I don't risk, for example, brand sites in Google, but just sticking to content and links is not enough nowadays. So, and I'm also, of course, confronted with DMCAs, and also I've built DMCA Boss with Ivana, and that's a tool that notifies you when your URLs are getting taken down and also assists you with the counter notice process.
So you see, quite a mixture of people. I am Ivana Flynn, I will be your moderator, and I am SEO and currently a DMCA expert, not by choice. Now, as you know us all, the first question is going to be, why do you think DMCAs are so popular? Why do we see them left and right? I mean, we all know it started with like one company attacking each other or attacking everyone, and suddenly it feels like everyone is attacking everyone. You cannot say it's just this one company. Is everyone attacking everyone? Because we all want retaliation. Why is it so popular? Why is it like the negative SEO of choice of 2026 especially? Any of you feel free to start and we can all share our ideas. We have enough time, so take your time to analyze it. Why do you think this is it? Why is it so loved by the naughty people?
Law of asymmetry, like the attacker just needs to file some notices, create some email addresses, use AI to create some text that are in the form basically, and the damage on the other side is quite large because a URL is getting de-indexed completely. It's like basically the most efficient form of negative SEO right now. So of course it's getting leveraged, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I think, Emma, you had an opinion about how easy it is because of AI. You had a whole theory there, so feel free to share with us.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean, my number one theory, why is it? It's because it works, right? Like we see it, we're all talking about the effects of it. It works. And now with AI, it's so easy to scale. So, and it's probably one of the most cheapest ways to bring down your competitors. So I guess if you're a bad actor out there, why invest in a content strategy and everything else when you can just take down your competitors? And sadly, Google isn't equipped to, help us with this, or, to go through the steps in order to help people get back their pages as fast or as quickly as needed, because there's no burden of proof. There's a lot of things missing, but yeah, it works. AI is obviously helping bad actors as well.
I mean, I think that when it comes to the proliferation of DMCA, so it's kind of like, okay, parasite SEO. So everyone started talking about parasite SEO 2 years ago. Then Google got pissed off and de-ranked everyone, or substrate of people. They said it went away and it came back. But DMCA strikes were limited to a very, very specific market. I think everyone knows who it is, which one it was. It was kind of like everyone knew that was the Wild West, but everyone thought it wouldn't spread. And then it spread a little bit. And then just like a very famous person saying right now, it's not an eye for an eye, it's an eye for a head. And people start getting, like, when it goes on for too long, then people naturally start asking themselves, okay, I just keep on getting hit all the time. I keep on getting delisted all the time. I keep on taking all of this damage. I see the people who are replacing me. I know who they are. What can I do? And then people tend to go to these conferences. I'm not going to mention which ones, where it's very easy to meet people who are running these kinds of activities. And the cost of entry, as Daniel mentioned, is extremely low, and the impact is extremely high. So then what you end up with is this long-stretched issue which has not been resolved by Google, does not look like it will be resolved by Google anytime soon. The fact that people are figuring out how to scale it, and not only scale the first attack, but scale the consistent attacks also, and find ways to make it way more difficult to recover them. And the feeling of helplessness that people have when they actually are just getting attacked and nothing else happens. And I'm not saying that people are countering also, not only countering, but also attacking. But I mean, I work with on any given week, I speak to at least 30 people on any given week, between customers, colleagues, conferences and so forth. And there are people who I would have never have expected to be pissed off enough to say, like, I want to try this out on the people who are doing it. To me, it seems to be proliferating, right? Again, just that I mentioned this, I don't condone it. It's not a practice which I would ever do myself. I help people recover from it, but I think part of the reality of the situation is that it's become so common on so many SERPs that it's getting people who wouldn't have thought about ever doing this to think about doing it, and that's one of the things which I could raise.
Right. Sorry, Nacho as well want to say something about DMCAs. Sorry, Misha, continue. Just Nacho, when he sees that I'm on camera, he has to show himself. It's very narcissistic. Misha, please continue.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm completely with Sean. Just wanted to add from the affiliate side that, like, think about why that works so well here specifically. And you know that every affiliate uses a brand's logo, game provider's logo, game studio logos, different game screenshots, operator brand assets. So a complaint from a game studio or an operator about like screenshots of their games is completely plausible, and it's not obviously fake, and Google can't tell it's fake. And it's honestly, when we first witnessed DMCAs, for the first few hours, neither can we feel that it's fake. So in addition to that, it's very easy to scale. and that, as Emma said, filing a complaint costs nothing, but defending against it could cost weeks of work. So that's like a permanent asymmetry of defending against DMCAs and filing DMCAs.
And yeah, just to go off the back of Misha, Ivana, think about the amount of money that people are losing. Okay, so like, why is DMCA scaling so hard? It's because people who have typically been around for 2, 5, 10 years are ranking at high positions on high converting keywords, all of a sudden are removed from Google from anywhere from 24 hours to 2 weeks, or when it goes into the long queue, potentially even several months, right? So think about the amount of cost of downtime. So I used to work in security, and when you work in security, you know, and this is basically an attack. So it works the exact same way as security. So when you have downtime, you have a cost to that downtime. But the reality is that the cost to the downtime over here is actually being revenue and a profit to someone else, right? So the people who are doing this are obviously prepared to take the place. It's not just like people are attacking each other for no reason, right? There are contingents of individuals out there who are ready, that when these things happen, they have assets ready to take those places. And if they just take the place of someone who spent a long time, or a group of people who spent a long time to generate those rankings and generate that revenue, and they just rank for 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, 1 week, there's a lot of money in ranking for 24 hours. You can call it crumbs, but I mean, we've worked with recovering people where it's almost like a marathon now, right? They're up for 2 days, they're down, we get them back for 1 day, they're down for 2 days, they're up again for 2 days, they're down again for 1 day, you know, so it's almost like a marathon. So I think one of the things to mention over here is that, like I said from the beginning, is that unfortunately, in some markets, it's not being treated like a gentleman's game anymore when you just do the best work possible. And to your point on Black Hat SEO also, there's a difference between attacking someone's good work, which could damage their asset permanently or temporarily, and just running Black Hat tactics, which are going to help you get an upper hand of your competition. Those are two completely separate things. Unfortunately, certain contingents are seeing this as another tool in their toolbox to use in their SEO strategies. And that's the issue.
Absolutely. And as Daniel said, it's cheap.
Yeah.
Sean is saying, everybody here is saying, negative SEO attacks are with us forever. I'm in SEO for 16 years. And yes, in some shape and form, links were very popular. UGC attacks were very popular. DDoS attacks, super popular, super expensive. That's thousands of euros and is not that successful. Negative CTR. You start to derank, you go from position 3 to position 4. It is a damage, but it's not going from position 1 to nowhere for weeks. And the cheapness of it is worrying. The fact that you just submit something, anyone can do it. It's an open Google form, and nothing happens to you because there is no retaliation. Because yes, it is illegal. But let's be honest, most of these people are not doing it themselves. They are ordering attacks coming from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. Who's going to go to Bangladesh and find this one person doing these attacks? No one. So they feel safe. And unless Google changes how this is handled, because right now you submit something, nobody asked for your ID, there is no facial recognition, there is nothing. You're just being a bad person. That's all you are. And Google doesn't check. On the other hand, when you are submitting the counters, your name, phone number, email address, everything, and of course you can fake that too, but if you are not doing anything wrong, why would you? And as well, many times Google follows up saying, just provide information, it is you who is recovering, we need this from you. So on the other hand, checks like, you are doing something horrible because you're trying to recover a page. And this is really disproportional because Google doesn't do anything to the attacker, yet as you all said, your revenue is gone immediately. And yes, there are ways to recover it faster. We're learning all the time and we can do it. I would say the average is 12 to 24 hours of successful recovery. However, sometimes over weekend, I have 3 hours, especially when there is another attack coming. We will talk about the stalking as well soon. So this is a huge problem. In my opinion, what needs to change is how Google handles the fake takedowns. If they would do something, some checks, some accountability, we would see a massive drop because nobody wants to risk their real ID and surrender it to Google and say, yes, I'm going to attack all of these people, completely fake, but yeah, I'm proud of it. And here is my ID, here is my address, and here is my business details. For me, the forms, how this is being handled is number one that Google needs to change, because we know none of us are going to change US legislation. My 2 cents. What would you change in this process? Where would you start? Because I'm sure that's one of the questions we will get. What needs to change to stop this?
Yeah, from my perspective, Google isn't failing to react. Actually, Google is doing exactly what the law pays it to do. Like from the Google perspective, if Google takes something down fast immediately after the DMCA, it's protected now. And like the concept of fake DMCA is, the penalty is just one-sided. So the behavior is one-sided as well. And I can't even imagine how they could verify structurally. Ivana, you mentioned like company details, but someone could also fake it.
Facial recognition, for example. DNA samples, I don't know. There has to be something.
Copyright exists the moment you create something. So there is no registration requirements, and there is no global registry before you create something. And unlike trademarks, there is no database anyone can check to confirm who owns what. So just it's almost impossible from my perspective to just verify the ownership, and it isn't the policy Google is refusing to implement. It's just I think that doesn't exist, like this like database of ownership. It's from my perspective, it's almost impossible to verify it.
That is very bad news, but there is actually a way you can protect your pages. You can put them in this copyright governmental website. It's like $30 a year, and then you can do DMCA.com, where you get your badge that you are the owner, but not enough people are doing this, and it doesn't work 100%. But if you want to protect your pages, go to DMCA.com, absolutely get the badge. It's like €10 per 100 pages or something. It's super cheap. I always recommend it to everyone. Most people don't do it. I don't know why. And a lot of people, if they do it, they don't do it correctly as well. So, I would love people to start to use it more, to create database of who owns what. So when the attacks come, it's actually sort of toothless. But it's not going through. So in your opinion, Google is not doing anything really wrong and it cannot be fixed. Do we have any challenging opinions?
I mean, look, for every defense you put in there, there's a smart black hat guy who's going to figure out a way around it. So
can you fit nature?
If you're going to have, as an example, the same kind of security which PPC has, which has verification of users, verification of credit cards, same with Meta, same with TikTok ads. I mean, if you look what's happening in iGaming advertisements, which are not permissible by the platform's own policies that are getting through, and getting through significant security for something which is a paid service, it's insane. This is not a paid service. This is a free service. And people are not paying to be on the search results organically. They're competing to be on the search results organically. So I don't see how Google has an incentive to do more than what they're doing, which is the bare minimum from a legal perspective. And if they were to try and do something more than what they're doing on their actual paid platforms, we also know that doesn't work very well as soon as you have some smart people in the black hat world who go out there and figure out loopholes to get around it. So, I mean, could they be doing a better job after the first attack? For sure. Because we also know that after the first attack, it's more difficult to recover your assets. So it becomes more problematic also for the people who are under attack to actually recover their assets. So there could be some system changes whereby the attackers have, or potential malicious users have, less tools within their arsenal or weapons to use against others. But I just don't see the incentive by Google right now, unless there's some kind of, I mean, we're talking about we're on a iGaming podcast over here, right? So, what incentive does Google have to help iGaming brands ranking organically, and other markets where this happens quite often, which is like adult and some other hyper-competitive industries? I would say close to none, right? So could they be doing a better job? Yes, systematically after the second DMCA strike. Is there an incentive for them to do it? Not that I can see right now. So I wouldn't see any changes coming along.
That's interesting.
No, I don't think we are going to see changes. But Daniel, as a developer and a black hat person, can you tell us what you would recommend that Google does? Then we come to you, Emma. But you as a developer, where would you see that Google can do something? I mean, they are a technological company, after all. They have got clever people working for them. Okay, they are against other clever people, but I'm sure there is something they could do. I mean, in my ideal world, they would do something about it, okay? So here is me dreaming and hoping. But you as a developer, what would you see that could be done or maybe could not be done? Maybe you can agree with Misha and Sean, of course.
I mean, Google could do a lot. I think there are many ways to solve this, but it costs money, and Google right now is investing a lot of money into AI, and they don't care much about iGaming clients because they're not big in Google Ads. And for example, if you would go into competitive e-commerce, probably if you have large Google Ads campaigns, this wouldn't hurt you so much. Because you have an account manager, etc., and they get things done if you need them to get done because it's critical to their business. But in iGaming and adult, this is just for a search experience completeness, that the users also can search for iGaming results and adult results to have a complete user experience. But Google doesn't necessarily care about those industries. So to solve this, they could basically implement a system where the first notice goes through, and as soon as counterproof is there, then this URL is locked from any future automatic removals, for example, and assign more people or humans to check that stuff. Then this issue wouldn't exist, because getting a URL one time out of the index might give you some money, but it's not scalable as much. And so at some point, like probably after a few months, whole iGaming would be immunized. So no URL could be taken off anymore. So yeah, that's, I think, the most simple solution.
Emma, sorry, you wanted to say something. I rudely jumped into that. Very sorry. Please share your opinions. Of
No,
course,
all good. I was going to say, here we had a brainstorm about ideally what we would like to see. And I think one of the most popular solutions or ideas, and it kind of touches on what Daniel said, was some sort of changelog or transparency dashboard from each complaint. So imagine if you could track, okay, this claimant has filed 8,000 complaints against X, Y, and Z. This is how many were successful. This was the outcome of those, and this was the evidence they provided. So imagine if you could do that for like each claim. So I could see like the changelog for like each of my pages that have been taken down, or each of the competitor ones I can see that have also been taken down.
Oh yeah, that would be beautiful. But yet you cannot even get to Lumen database. So I don't think this is going to happen. But there are two things I'm going to follow up on here. First of all, the repetitive attacks, we'll get to them because they are becoming a huge problem. And as well, how bad the evidence provided when taken down a page is. Misha already said that it could be done that a platform is complaining that affiliate is using their images, so it could be plausible. None of these platforms would ever, of course, do it because they want affiliates to promote them. They have got a deal and they want to be visible and they pay for these deals. So of course, they're not going to tell Google, look, we paid for this deal and now we want you to take it down because we don't like money. Not happening. What I've seen the worst, I mean, many times the attacker just puts some random page from, let's say, Times of Malta or Reddit, completely irrelevant, does not get checked if it's actually copyrighted, does not check if the content is actually really the same. But the worst one I'm seeing lately, and this is how sloppy the claims are getting, and still getting through the Google system, is that the same domain is attacking same domain. I'm gonna just not to call anyone here because obviously, but let's say Amazon for an example here. Amazon.com/shoes1 would complain that Amazon.com/shoes2 is stealing their content and is saying, dear Google, we stolen content from our own self and we would like to tell you about it. Please de-index our website because once again, we don't like money. And Google still passes this as a real claim. I think first thing that Google will need to change is have a system to actually check if these pages are real and if they are actually, if there is a plausible cause that there is something to be taken down for. Not that the same domain is attacking themselves, right? I mean, that is ridiculous. As well, many times 404 pages. So they put a 404 page and Google still take you down even though 404 page or soft 404 never existed. This would be for me the first thing, check the claims. I don't think that's that difficult. And trust me, I follow up with Google when I see this. I will send them screenshots and explain them what's going on. And then AI writes back, use the claim for this. Use this form for this. This use form for this. Thank you. Then I follow up again and they said, I think you have problem with copyright. Use the counter notice. Then of course I write them, I know about counter notice. Please read my claim. But the AI on the other end is so stupid that it's impossible to scale these issues. For me, changing what is being taken down and why would be number one. Are you seeing all these crazy claims or am I just getting unlucky with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I just like, again, from the affiliate perspective, what you said is that defense against DMCA for us in ideal future is that it's not legal, it's commercial. So we have a direct agreement with the operator, with a game provider, game studio, whose content sits on our pages. Mm-hmm. So when a real claim comes in, it's conversation with a partner. But if it's fake, we could just, we just ask, did you file this? Did you file this DMCA? And a large share of time, the answer is no. Obviously, for fake DMCA, it's 100%. And with a written confirmation from the named rights, from the named right holder, saying this wasn't me, this wasn't us, this wasn't we haven't filed this DMCA. So this could be the single strongest piece of evidence you can put behind an appeal before a counter appeal. And so from the affiliate side, we know these brands, we know these game studios, we have direct lines to them in most cases. And I believe in this industry, your partner relationships aren't just commercial. They could be like, they could be your infrastructure to defend yourself even in such cases like fake DMCA or whatever comes next after fake DMCAs.
Oh God, what's next? That I don't even like that sentence here. But what you're saying is sort of doable with the DMCA.com. It's not my product. Okay, it feels like I'm advertising it. It's not my product. It's just helpful thing. So if you register yourself, the content there, and then you get a badge, there will be a part saying like, let's say SlotCatalog, I'm using you because you're here and very proudly saying the name. So SlotCatalog is copyrighted owner of these things. If you have a copyright issue, write directly to their legal team. So you don't get fake DMCAs, but if somebody still feels that you are violating like copyright, by registering there, you are agreeing to look into it with your legal team, and they need to reach out to your legal team, which I think is much more elegant solution. You have a problem, write to us. We all make mistakes, so maybe we overstepped. So that is elegant solution, and people are still not taking this. They're still not doing this. Many people, I think, just simply don't know. Many people are abusing trademarks. Many people are maybe in markets they don't want to be seen that they are operating. So I think there's a lot of reasons why these are not being used. Thank you, Misha, for all your opinions here. Yeah, it would be beautiful if we can avoid it. And now the repetitive attacks, which in my opinion are the worst thing ever. First attack happens, you can resolve it fast. As I said, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 24 hours, but it goes through and your pages are back. But you get second, third, 15th attack on the same URLs. Sometimes slowly. And sometimes there is this new thing when you stack lots and lots and lots of complaints and you recover and it goes down because Google takes the next complaint. And then you're recovering either every day or morning, evening, morning, evening. My problem with this is you submit a counter notice and it says, please, we ask you not to submit previously submitted URLs, which means Google knows they recovered it. Okay, they have an evidence and they are challenging you of not doing this. Yet, they don't have that system for the attacker. How come they can still attack when you cannot counter? Please discuss, feel your frustrations to float, because for me, this is like, I have lots of opinions here, but obviously I don't want to Ivana jag all the podcast because I can complain about DMCAs, trust me. But I'm sure you all have a feeling about it. You all have a little bit to say. Sean, you were quiet for a while.
I think that I don't get pissed off about these things because I started off in engineering way back and web security and telephony, specifically in web vulnerability probing at one point. So a company who was helping people probe their own websites to expose vulnerabilities. And like what you see happen with black hat attacks, or let's not call them black hat attacks, negative SEO attacks, is that, you know, before you get a DDoS, you're going to be looking at your server, monitoring your server logs, and you're going to start seeing that you're getting a bit of traffic from here, a bit of traffic from there, and then the onslaught starts. Same with negative links. You start getting a few here, a few there. And then you get the onslaught. Same with antivirus software. So people are now utilizing antivirus software to trigger your brand to be flagged as malicious with ISPs. And, you know, we can go on and on and on and on. So this is not something which is specific to DMCA, but what can we learn from web vulnerability probing? What can we learn from what's happening over here is that there's vulnerability probing on the system itself. And each and every time people get better on dealing with the DMCA counter notices, the people who are trying to maliciously attack these websites to claim their position at Google are getting better at probing the systems and identifying the next step. So I don't think that over here, again, to go back to the previous statement, Google is going to, number one, change this. I don't think they have an incentive to change it. We've seen that advertising platforms that are making billions don't change things when they should, even when they're making money. And they have a lot of pressure on them. So a couple of SEOs, we're not going to make a difference. That's my honest belief. So when it comes to, so from the incentive, it's not there. But then when it comes from the incentive from the other side, the upside is huge. Again, we're talking about a few keywords in a few markets making millions a month from claiming positions which shouldn't be theirs, okay? So what's going to happen is that it's going to look over time as though the attacks are getting sloppier, as though they're getting more frequent, and all that's happening over here is that someone is probing. Someone is setting up a probing into how to continuously keep people offline. And when I see some of the people that I work with and I recover them every 2 days, they're live for 2 days, they're down for a day, and then they're back live for 2 days, and they're down for a day, it's obvious to me what's happening. It's being probed. There's an aspect of creativity, an aspect of scale, and an aspect of also, okay, what are these people doing to probe the system to keep that 1 day of downtime to 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days. So my honest opinion, this is going to get worse. It's not going to get better because realistically, the MCAs have been around for a couple of years, but let's be honest, they got really bad over the past 8 months. So I think it's just the beginning of what's to come.
Unfortunately, I have to agree. I will give you space, but I have to agree because I'm dealing with DMCAs for months now, and it used to be like one attack, you recover it. Now it's continuous. It seems to stop after when you recover 10 to 15th time, then it stops. And I don't know if Google is like, okay, I'm giving up, I recovered it too many times, just, I'm not touching you again. Or if the attacker is like, we ordered 10 attacks, oh my goodness, they managed to recover, maybe I'll find a different target. I don't know what's happening here, but it tends to stop. But imagine still when you are basically all month down because you get 15 attacks, and it takes time, of course, to recover, even if it's just a day. So you need to, first of all, detect it, then you recover it, then you are happy, and then you're attacked again. So I agree with Sean, it's going to get worse. Any other sentiments about these wonderful repetitive attacks? Okay, no, good. Then I'm moving on to Daniel, because I know Daniel works with other industries than just iGaming. And just to make you feel better, because if someone else, lives in misery as well, we all feel better about it. It's not just iGaming. You work a lot with adult industry, which seems to have it even worse, right? I mean, it's not just us.
Yes. Yeah, that like DMCA issue is like a natural problem in the adult industry because it's a lot of UGC content, a lot of pages, billions of pages per brand, and it's super hard to keep oversight over those ultra high scale platforms, basically. So they definitely have this issue, and they don't have this issue because getting abused, but they have the issue naturally because there are many different right holders of copyright content and a lot of uploads, and so they definitely are struggling with it in general, like because the whole system that Google provides is as bad as an iGaming, but it's happening because of different reasons. The handling with it is quite similar. So yeah, that's something that's very interesting. Because also like the tool that I've built, DMCA Boss, that was built out like with the motivation to solve this issue in iGaming, but now the demand is larger in adult because adult just has so many URLs. An iGaming brand maybe scales up to 10,000 URLs, but they don't need to scan all of them. And in like an adult platform, with let's say 1 billion URLs, they need few million URLs to be checked, and it costs them a lot of money to do it manually. So that's something, yeah, to note. Yeah, so that's what I can tell you about adult.
May I ask, Daniel?
Yeah, go ahead,
is
Sean.
adult? Is adult? Is it the same as iGaming? So are they using it because, like, I'm not going to mention the names, right? Because we don't want to get sued for just talking about some companies on a podcast, right? But I do know that in the adult industry, one of the most, let's say, popular sites and the largest brands in the game actually was accused of taking content from the paid sites, launching it as UGC. And they were accused of launching it as fake UGC. And as I understand, that's a common issue in adult, right? We have people claiming paid content and loading it up as UGC and hiding behind technology platform, right? So are you seeing it in the adult industry the same as it's being utilized in the iGaming industry, where people are, let's say, trying to claim positions by removing other people? Or are you seeing it, you're saying it's a problem, but realistically it's being utilized correctly in the adult industry to remove copyright infringed assets which are paid for but being uploaded as UGC?
It's both. Like you have a lot of course, copyright infringement, but you also have the problem that a lot of adult search URLs are ranking, like search and then some kind of keywords, keyword combinations, and that those whole search URLs are taken down because one of the thumbnails and videos linked on that page is a copyright infringement. So a platform naturally, of course, wants to keep all their search, like ranking search URLs ranked, and then people upload some stuff that is violating others' copyright, and then the whole ranking is basically removed. And so that's something that they have to keep in check. And of course, there are also false claims, like false copyright claims also happens. And I wouldn't rule out any negative intent there. But definitely a most significant part is like genuine copyright infringement claims, yes. But I wouldn't say Google is handling it well because it's also all funneled into Lumen database. Super hard for those companies to get a grip of it and to handle this in a professional manner, because those URLs just vanish, they don't get notified, and basically they find out much later when revenue is already lost, and those assets like the URLs with the search terms that like with dynamic content, where then those copyright violating thumbnails or videos moving in, those are then like all the work that's put into such a URL, ranking such a URL is then lost.
Yeah, I wonder if the Lumen database is built for what's going on right now. Like, can it withstand all of these reports? Like,
Definitely.
didn't it go down? Didn't it go down like a day or two ago?
It goes down almost all the time. At least once a day you get 503 error because it was built for researchers. So basically anything you have a problem with, including copyright, including defamation or court, it was built for Harvard lawyers just to have like overview what's going on. So Google feeds all of the things that come to them to Lumen. And now it was never for us. That's why you're struggling, and you can see once or twice a day which URLs are attacked if you go through Lumen, which is super bottleneck. But it was not built for us, and we cannot get access because even the APIs are for researchers, and you need to have university email. And I was already thinking like, how am I going to get university email just to get there? So it's not for us. And yes, because we are attacking each other more and recovering more and needing Lumen database more, we are breaking it because we have so much, we're requiring so much data. So many times you go, it either does not load at all because it gives you 503, or it just detects you as a bot. Or if you're doing the CAPTCHA 1 millionth time, it just doesn't go through because the CAPTCHA doesn't work. So working with Lumen, it's just a headache. I absolutely hate it. And I think that's the biggest issue with finding if you are under attack, if it's genuine attack, or what's going on to read the lumens.
Yeah, and it's just run by a Harvard professor, like on the side as a free project, and it doesn't make any sense that Google is offloading this thing to one person. Yeah, I think also that professor has to scale Lumen database just because of iGaming. So the infrastructure he has probably has to scale it and put all the protections in because of that. Yeah.
He probably hates iGaming quite a lot by now.
Yeah.
He probably does. Yeah. But Misha, Emma, which are your biggest bottleneck? For me, it was always Lumen, like trying to figure out what's going on. I figured out how to work with it, of course, but what was your biggest issue with all of this? Like, where is your biggest pain point? What would you love to solve?
Misha, do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course.
Now let's go Emma ladies first, and then Misha. Let's go this way.
I was doing reverse gentleism, but yes.
Yeah, you're very much nice to each other. I was just, go talk.
It's nice to be nice to each other in an SEO podcast, right? Rather than attacking each other.
It
can be done. Yeah, no, that really what you said, Ivana, like I think the biggest pain point or bottleneck for SEO teams and content guys is the Lumen database. It is a nightmare. It is slow. It's buggy. There's not much more to say. Like I said, that used to be, obviously the primary way people were checking whether they're down. Obviously now there's other ways to check, but for a while, especially for companies out there that are still reliant on Lumen, it's a nightmare. And I feel sorry. My heart goes out to anybody who is struggling with Lumen.
Well, yeah, and from my perspective, it's not exactly a bottleneck, but I feel that there are many companies selling takedowns as a service, and so there is a price list, there is a market, and you mentioned several times like waves of DMCA you receive, and like after 10s of after 20s it stops. So we can see the pattern, and I believe it's not a coincidence. So multiple claims, different filling entities, but same targets always, and all of this inside a very short window of time. So that's we see that's definitely a coordination. So and once it becomes a repeatable process, it doesn't stop because we discussed it on a panel or just we discussed it. So it's always scales when it has a price. It could be a repeatable process, so it scales.
It does, and it's very annoying. I get contacted by many people asking if I can do takedowns. I refuse that. Like takedowns is something I would never do. You never know what the motivation behind that. But if you are looking for takedowns, visit Fiverr.com. You find all of these people offering all these services at amazing prices. And it's like, do you want me to take down your competitors? This is the price. It's not even difficult to find. I don't know how Fiverr is listing this as a service, knowing it's illegal. That's a whole different bag of issues we're not going to go into. Now the repetitive attacks, let's go to them. Most people don't know what to do with them because, as I said, they get stuck. Do you have your own solution to it that you would share with people, like legal form, for example? Or if you don't want to share, it's okay as well. But I think that is one thing that people just don't know how to handle.
What's
Yeah, nobody wants to share.
I didn't understand.
The repetitive attacks when you get the please don't submit previously submitted URLs. I think the proper thing to do is going via legal form. But I think in your tool, Daniel, you have got a place to do that, or you're building that. But anyway, Emma, do you have a system for that? Or you said you are tracking a lot of data, lots of data points. What was attacked? How was it attacked? Do you track as well how you recover and what's your process? Can you share? Or if it's Gentoo internal, you don't have to, of course.
No, I mean, one tip or one thing I can say is that we did notice is that when people were filing with their non-business addresses or their non-work email, we were getting faster responses. And that's one thing we did notice. And that's one thing I can share. And I think that was widely shared across forums and LinkedIn as well, is that people were seeing the same thing.
Absolutely. I think a Gmail account works the best because, once again, it's a Google product and Google loves its own products, if you have not noticed, people. So yes, definitely don't use a company website for it. That is as well my little contribution here. If you are getting the things in Google Search Console, there is always a link like you can counter here. Do not click on that. That's a long recovery one. Every time you click on it, it goes to the long queue. Go to the one with the question mark that we keep sharing everywhere and keep telling people, please counter here. That goes to the fast one. Of course, now and then you get filtered and you go to the long queue. I keep telling people, think of it like random selection at the airport. Now and then you get selected. Okay, if I travel, I get selected every single time, okay? So if you travel with me, free pass for you because I'll get selected. But this is the same. You recover 100 pages and the 101 goes to the long queue. I discovered as well that if you try to counter it again in 24 hours, let's say 50% of times it goes to the short queue. So, try. I would say it's like SEO thing. Try and fail and try and succeed here. Misha, do you have any tricks that you would like to share with us? Anything that you discovered, either finding the issues or countering or tracking, anything that you think anyone listening here might profit from or might benefit from?
Yeah, absolutely. So from our perspective, a counter notice is a sworn statement now, so it's well known within the industry. But as you said, it's better to fill it from accounts that not within your company email address, and yeah, basically that's it. We've been hit, but not at scale, and I believe that from the affiliate perspective, it's there is a lot less surface for like plausible looking claim now, but as we discuss it, it will get worse and worse.
So as it gets worse and worse, and we're all working with counter notices, if you would you share what kind of evidence you provide to make sure that your counter notices go through? Is it just like, please counter these, or do you actually give them things like, as you said, we are in cooperation with this slot provider, and you got...
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, we usually try to mention it, and we also, in some of the group chats with other affiliates, if we see the fake DMCAs from one specific casino brand operator, we could also mentioned that we seen some of those fake DMCA claims hit our competitors, our other websites, other webmasters, so that we could also share.
This one I saw. Sorry, can I just add one thing, Ivana? Because this is something I thought of, and it's something I'm not sure. I think I've seen this on forums too, as well, is that people have been sharing their CMS revision history, especially if the page, say, like for example, it's a review from the early 2000s, or it's a super old brand or a super old slot game, because obviously it's existed before the claim even came in. I don't know. I haven't tried that one myself, but I said I have seen it across forums and posted on LinkedIn that people are sharing the CMS revision history to show how old the page was or when it was existing and the different revisions they've gone through.
For me, it's the archive. I think archive is really good because it is publicly available. It's there. And if I keep telling everyone, do not block archive. It used to be an SEO practice, no archive, no whatever. We were blocking everything because I don't know why. But I don't block it anymore. Don't block it anymore. It's not a good idea. Archive is your friend these days. And now we mentioned it, that this is just one of many negative SEO attacks, one of many, and it keeps changing. We don't know what's coming. So how do you all keep up on what's coming and what's happening? Because I usually find these things by a complete chance. Like I look at something like, what the hell is going on? And then my obsessive personality takes over and I figure it out. But how do you prepare yourself for what's next? How do you educate yourself? What's going on in the market? Because I think there's still a lot of unknown, even around the DMCAs, and we all publishing about it a lot because we want people to know what's going on. But how do you keep up on all of this? Are there any tips and tricks, any forums, any rooms you follow that is going to help you stay on top of all of this unfortunate business?
I think one thing that we have to recognize is that considering my thesis on that this is going to get worse, it's not going to get better, and the scale of it is going to go for lower cost, higher impact, which goes towards Daniel's theory also, that is the way that it's going to go. It's going to get better, it's going to be worse, there's going to be more probing. That on your side, you need to be capable of probing the counter notice process also, meaning that if you're a single affiliate or a single operator and you get hit by a DMCA strike once in a while and your page goes down and all of a sudden you have to figure out how to get it back up in the shortest amount of time possible, you're working at a huge disadvantage. Because the people who are getting attacked consistently, or at least have a portfolio of sites that are getting attacked consistently, have a consistent process that they can repeat and that they can fine tune. So from our perspective, I mean, we file around 500, or we recover around 500 URLs weekly. So from each and every one of those recoveries, you realize that there's something new which is coming out. You determine, you have a good testing ground. And it's because, we're not doing it on our assets only, we're doing it on hundreds of other assets to help people recover their sites fast. So I would say that having a better pool of, let's say, if you're gonna chop wood, you better have a lot of trees to chop, right? To chop it better. So have more trees to chop. This can either come in the form of setting up more assets to honeypot the attacks. I mean, we've also seen where the attacks don't only happen on sites which are ranking on top positions of Google, but in some cases the attacks even go down to page 3, 4, 5. So it's not like it's difficult to do that. Have a community of people that you can coordinate with. If you are an SEO, offer your friends or offer people within your community help so that you get more exposure at the end of the day. Let's just say you're in this chat right now, you own one affiliate asset, you're getting hit, you're doing really well, so you're getting hit often, you're in that game. The only benefit that you can really have is increasing the rate of recoveries which you're processing to improve your process, because ultimately it's dealing with another AI on the other side, right? In many times. So if you optimize it in the right way on the first request, you might say like, oh, what's the value of getting a professional or learning how to do this when I can just learn it myself? Well, you have to count what 2 weeks to 2 months or 6 months of downtime could be in terms of value on your brand versus learning how to do it or having someone experienced to do it for you. In terms of communities, the iGaming SEO boardroom, which myself and yourself run, Ivana, is definitely something that I would recommend. People who came into the community were getting demolished from DMCA strikes, basically lost their entire life's work and were able to recover it within a week. So that definitely helped quite a lot. And again, contact people on this podcast. So we all have LinkedIn, sure, we're easy to find. I'm sure given my current statement, everyone will be happy to get as much exposure to as many DMCA strikes as possible to have better opportunities to help recover them and help increase the likelihood of them being able to handle their DMCA strikes with the same efficacy which the VANA see, which is like sometimes 24 hours. Sometimes it goes into the long queue, right? And there's not much you can do, no matter how much you try. The dreaded long queue.
Random selection.
Yeah, but again, if the attackers are playing an economies of scale game, then you need to play that too. And if you don't have the capability to play that, hire the professionals to do it for you, or find people who are doing it and learn from them.
I would say one thing, what I see over and over with customers, if they start to be attacked once and we recover that, then it might be quiet period, but then they are just being probed and then they're just being attacked massively. Like it starts slow. So we're like, oh, I have just 1 or 2. And then suddenly you have 200 and you have got more and you have got more. So my number one tip, monitor your websites and always test if it is DMCA or if it is just bad SEO that Google doesn't like your pages and de-index you for that. So monitor. We are
Also
moving to the questions,
Ivana?
but of course, yeah, you can say it. I'm just going to check if we have questions, please. Daniel,
I just got an idea, like I thought about it earlier. So of course, monitoring it and doing the counter notes process is key. But something I also noticed is that some clients that were really like completely destroyed, at some point it stopped. And it seems like you said, like after 15 or 20 of those repetitive takedowns, like from what I have seen, that a lot of those URLs are not easy to take down anymore. But of course, it was a long way until there. And what might be something to try out if you have a new URL could be to take it down yourself via a service 20 times, 30 times. And until like that's done, you wait and then you start doing SEO on it. You might have a more immune URL you can rank. This is just like an idea if there is some kind of threshold at Google, because of course they know like a legitimate DMCA case won't go like with 15 or 20 repetitions, but maybe a few. So they have like a probably very lenient threshold just to be sure that they don't break the law. But there is one, I think. And what you could try is to basically create if you start a new URL, to just take it down like a lot of times first before you invest.
And we're going to questions. We have got quite a lot. So question number 1, I would like to ask some practical question here. How do you receive day-to-day information about DMCA claims? Because in the Google Search Console, if you even get one, it's 2 to 14 days. That's true. There is a massive delay. So I think, Daniel, you can take this one and I'll look through the other questions.
What is the thing?
How do you find the information? How do you get information about DMCAs against your website?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I think exchanging all the current updates with your colleagues or people like your clients, anyone around you, is important, because every company has different cases, and getting the holistic view on the industry is something which is key. I think I'm learning a lot from other people, and I think I wouldn't have been able to, for example, build DMCA boards without talking to other people. And also, like, sometimes someone creates a nice trick to make the counter process easier. For example, the URL thing that you mentioned, Ivana, that's something you have to get behind, and you can't be knowledgeable about everything all the time. So exchanging the latest updates with other people that are also doing SEO or work for companies that are SEO reliant, as well as, of course, reading news. Like there are some articles about this topic, Search Engine Journal, I think, but also in iGaming media outlets, listening to podcasts, all of that. But in the end, there is no, I think, no golden rule. It's just that trying to soak up as many information as you can and then get your hands dirty.
Good. Here is a really good. If a fraudulent DMCA notice can wipe out high converting affiliate page overnight, should DMCA resilience now be treated as a business community KPI rather than a legal or SEO issue? That's part one of the question. And should operator affiliate agreement include DMCA attack clause, converting traffic rerouting, lost FTDs, revenue attribution, legal support during this kind of times of wrongful de-indexation? Is a really good question. We have got affiliates here, we have got business people like Sean, so please take it. I think this one opens a great discussion.
Up to you, Misha.
Yeah,
Misha, yes, go.
So yes, as we discussed previously, we could see a pattern here, and we see other companies hire sort of like our competitors hiring specialists who work with DMCA, who fire DMCAs. So that's actually a very sound idea to add it to the KPIs of the one single deal. And again, as Sean mentioned several times during our podcast, is that losing your money pages could hurt. And again, in this industry, your partner relationships aren't just commercial. There could be an infrastructure, and you should, like, being an affiliate myself, I could feel that there should be an open conversation between affiliate and operator and other B2B entities in the industry about DMCAs, how they hurt affiliate businesses, how they hurt other businesses. And I believe we could build a proper infrastructure, as well as terms and conditions for the deal, as well as KPIs for the deal, etc., etc. So that's my 5 cents.
I would ask Sean, because he's not just SEO, he's rather a very successful businessman. So where do you stand on this? Should it be a business KPI? Should it be in an agreement that there could be loss of FTDs and traffic and revenue due to fake DMCAs? It's something I don't think we ever discussed, but you as a very successful businessman, what's your opinion and how would you handle this?
I'm just trying to understand the question a little bit better. So am I understanding correctly that the agreement over here is between the operator and the affiliate?
Yes, that this can happen.
That this
because
can happen,
many times people pay like fixed position and then suddenly those pages are attacked, they lose all the traffic. Should it be somehow legally or business-wise treated in an agreement so everybody knows this could happen? And then what happens to the, let's say paid position? The monthly, sometimes you pay 50, 100,000 per paid position. So what happened then? Are you returning the money, or is it going to be treated as, well, we knew this might come, sort of like higher power?
I think that the legal perspective isn't going to help anyone over here. It's just the game, and it's changed. And the game went for a period of time from long-term assets to short-term assets. We saw the case where building up long-term assets became more risky and building up short-term assets became more sustainable, strangely enough. So, we also saw a couple of months ago that the canonical redirect hidden network trick stopped working as well, right? Google hit that one quite badly. It was an interesting morning for a lot of people. Obviously, we're seeing that come back now. So things come and things go. I think that if you're going to do a deal, you need to know the marketscape. So if you're going to do a deal, especially when it comes to SEO, you need to know what you're paying for. If you're going to paying for a fixed fee with someone in a market where there's a lot of volatility and a lot of DMCAs being incurred and they're not dealing with them very well, my opinion, you should do your due diligence and you should evaluate that when this deal goes down, do they have another asset ready to take its place, right? And if they don't, and you're willing to pay a fixed fee, then it could be part of the negotiation. When it comes to the terms, would I on the deal, if I'm the operator, try to get something in there which can protect me? For sure, but will the affiliate take that? I mean, the best thing that the affiliate can do is get better at claiming position 1 when they get removed from position 1, which some people are extremely good at doing. So more due diligence. I mean, there are some people out there who have like a landing page with a casino list, which no matter who ranks at number 1, traffic always goes back to them. So if you pay for a top list with those guys, you're always going to pay for a top list with those guys, and they're always going to be there. So it's more of a ecosystem question rather than a legal question, because I mean, you can put all the terms you want, but at the end of the day, shit happens, Google updates happen, changes happen, and no matter how many terms you have in there, maybe the only one which could impact the industry overall is potentially a code of conduct. But I don't think a lot of operators would go with this, whereby you would only work with affiliates that are clearly not involved in DMCA. We all know that there's always going to be someone willing to pay for traffic out there from anyone. So I don't think that would work. So no, I would say do better due diligence, evaluate the SERPs, evaluate, there are some SERPs where you can go there and every 3 hours, the positions change, okay? So if you go and sign a deal for a fixed fee for a month and then you're pissed off that all of a sudden your page 1, X amount of traffic, X amount of visibility goes to page 2, then it's back a couple of days later, that's of you because you didn't do the due diligence. I mean, as an affiliate, I know what my capability is, I know what I can deliver. If you don't pay for this deal, there's definitely someone else who will. So, yeah.
We have a recurring question about where to check for DMCA. So number 1, if you are getting them Google Search Console, there is the little notification button, like how many visits you get and whatever. One of them is removals. You don't get all of them there. You can go to Lumen database that we have discussed, it's lumendatabase.org, and you can find lumens that are sort of touching your website. Difficult because you open a lumen, you have got 1 or 2 attempts a day, and might not be, that URL might be just placeholder and is not taken down yet. Good practice is finding your de-index URLs and checking lumens to them. As well, Daniel built a tool, dmcaboss.com, that helps with that. And as well, Timothy is building a tool that is dmca.net that is going to help with all of this. So we are all catching up on that. Okay, we are not leaving you there just with your DMCAs and nothing. So keep an eye on all of these tools, on all of these practices. So that is a very repetitive question. I just wanted to close that off. As well, I'm going to read this one out loud because I feel like somebody agreed with me. Timothy, thank you. If Google verified the sender, they would cut down the amount of spam by at least 90%. So as I said, if they could just check facial recognitions or ID, I think it would work. I'm not saying Google will ever do that. Where do we stand on 301s? Because a lot of people are saying like, okay, you get a tag, you cannot recover it to 301. In my experience, you are recovering, let's say, number 8, number 10, and then you get a little bit, they get stuck between the recovery and indexation, and people tend to 301. In my experience, the attack starts from 0. So I am not a huge fan of 301. However, it's not just about me. We have got 4 other speakers. Where do you stand on 301ing to a new destination, those pages? Pro or no? Yes or no? Quick round. And why?
So if you have a very sticky takedown that you cannot get countered, I would do a canonicalization of the URL to another one because more juice, more authority space than doing a 301. But in general, like last resort measure, definitely do it, but canonical. And yeah, because in some cases, the only choice you have to do it or to not get any rankings back at all.
Yeah, if it's very sticky, if you cannot recover, maybe, but I don't love that practice because, again, I saw, like you are coming the end of it and it just triggers everything from beginning. I'm like, Not again. Emma, what's your opinion? You're a bit quiet through the questions, so.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think a lot of people have tested this one, and the complaint can follow you. So I would say it's more worth to recover your original URL if at all possible, rather than just moving the problem, because essentially what you're doing is just kicking the can down the road. Short
Okay,
and sweet.
Misha and Sean as well. Please share. This is a good question, I think, because it gets show very shortly how different we have got opinions on this.
I'm with Daniel here, and 301. It could help preserve rankings after a URL change, but in the long run, it doesn't provide any protection against future DMCA claims.
From my side, I would say subdomain, canonical first. At least you can reverse it if it doesn't work. Link reindexation, get Google to understand that you have migrated, get it to pick up the canonical. If that doesn't work, and I mean, the question comes down to how much pain are you feeling? Okay, so how much money have you lost? If you've been down for there are people who've been down on the root, so there have been people who've been DMCA'd on the root domain, also on the root, and those people, and I've seen a few of them, to be honest with you, they take ages to recover. Misha has a cat also. Behind every great SEO is a cat, or 2 or 3, right? A couple.
6 in my case.
Okay. That we're
I saw
somebody
commented Digital Millennium Cat Act when Nacho came here. We all knew one of my cats is going to show off. We all knew it's going to be Nacho. Come on, people. I'm a cat person.
So my feedback is this: you have to learn from the people who are running these attacks and the people who are benefiting from these attacks. They have a whole system so that when they get attacks themselves, they have a process to recover themselves before they just redirect into let's say a below the iceberg kind of network, and then find a way to still utilize those let's say recycled domains to get authority on another one and rank it. It was ranking quite well until a couple of months ago, so it changes over time. So what I would say is you need to know what your limits are on the pain you're willing to feel. So if you have a long-term, huge, large asset which is generating a lot of brand visibility, like an online casino domain or a bookie that's really, really popular, you're not going to want to just redirect. But you might canonicalize to a subdomain, but even that has its risks because a tech team might not be able to launch a casino platform on a subdomain. So let's be honest, that kind of a tactic is better suited towards affiliates rather than casino operators who have the larger brands, while affiliates we get in the middle of transactions, let's be honest. And in those cases, if you've been down for 2 months and you think that Google's coming to save you, you're down for 3 months, oh, Google, you're still coming to save me. Oh my God, I've been down for 4 months. Maybe you should start thinking about testing other things. And I would say that a canonical to a subdomain and the link reindexation would be my first approach. And a little bit of a traffic boost also.
That's a very nice solution. My problem is if you can redirect and Google can find it, so can the attacker. So even if, let's say, your brand protection sites get taken down by this and you redirect to brand protection site number 7, the attacker knows about it. And if they have you as a target, they're just persistent and they're going to keep coming at you. That's my problem with the 301s, because it's once you are target, you are target. It's not 1, 2 here. Once it starts to be repetitive, you are there and they're just showing you love every day. And people are saying problem is we are not getting the notifications, we get 5, but in reality it's hundreds. Google is not cooperating, let's be honest. And I was actually researching into this. Even if you counter successfully, Google is not legally obliged to notify you that they received your counter. They are not legally obliged to notify you that they are recovering you or tell you why they are not recovering you. Google doesn't have to help you at all. I think that's the biggest problem, that Google just, it feels, and I'm probably biased because I'm on the recovery end, it feels like Google is loving the attackers and showing absolutely no support to the recovery people. Emma is agreeing with me. Emma, please support me here. Because the boys are like, it's too sensitive, it's too sensitive. I can see it on Sean. This is a war, you are warrior. Get on with it.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously, when the burden of proof lies on the defendant rather than the perpetrator, I think everyone is going to feel that way. And as I said, we're all feeling the strain of like fighting against. It's much easier to make the claim than it is to fight it, and that's as unfair as it is. That is also how it is right now.
I'm actually smiling because it reminded me of something which happened. So I was in LA with an affiliate friend of mine, and we're just having breakfast at a hotel. And while we're having breakfast, it's like, Sean, I feel like a wild pig. Like, what do you mean you feel like a wild pig? Because every time I rank #1, it feels like someone sets me out to run and I start shooting at me. So like, that's why I've been smiling, because that's the reality. If you're position 1 on Google, you are a wild pig. And the second you get there, the firing squad comes and you have to figure out how to outrun them. Might be a canonical, might be a redirect, might be a recovery. It's just a game.
Absolutely. And I think important thing is to say here, many times these attacks come in bulk, not just DMCA bulk, but they combine with UGCs because, and now this is horrible, DMCAs can be fired against your best backlinks as well. So they take those down and send you tons of UGCs, and suddenly not only you are not ranking because you lost your best backlinks, but as well because your anchor is suddenly from online casino Viagra. So they come in sort of like, misery loves company, so do negative SEO attacks. So I'm seeing this in bulk as well, even if you have the DMCA.com badge at your website to protect it. They send you DDoS attacks before they're going to send you DMCA. So you need to block the bots. The DMCA protection doesn't get crawled, and you are being taken down. Are you seeing this, or am I being paranoid and thinking that this is all happening? I think this is happening. I'm seeing it, but are you seeing similar, that it's, if it doesn't go through right away, it comes in combination with something else?
I mean, we've seen that some people, that's when you have a Google update and there's a lot of volatility on the different sensors, even if it isn't a Google update, we see that there's, in some cases, large DMCA attacks which happen in conjunction with volatility on the SERPs. Like, why would you do that? I mean, again, it's another tactic which I think people are using. So social engineering, probing, whatever, it comes like, it kind of goes hand in hand, that if you're spending time, if your website goes down, and like this happened to me recently, right? We had a customer whose website went down, and I was at the gym and he called, he's like, oh my God, Sean, my website's down. I'm like, yeah, a Google update started today, right? Have you done any of X, Y, Z? No, I haven't. What could be going wrong? I'm like, listen, don't panic. If it's a Google update, if it's a DMCA strike, we'll recover you fast. If it's something more serious, like a Google update, is going to be a longer term game to resolve. In many cases, people wouldn't even know that it's a DMCA strike, for a while. They're going to spend like maybe an extra 2 days checking if it's a Google update which hit them. They're going to be running all of their audits, contacting their agencies, trying to understand what went wrong. So, yeah, I think misery loves company, and when it rains, it pours. And I'm sure there are a lot of other sayings just like that which apply to this particular scenario.
Absolutely. I think as well, why we are seeing all of this DMCA flourishing is because somebody came up with that idea, started to attack everyone, and now everybody attacks even them. We have a saying, because we are the saying, it just came to me in Slovak, I don't know if it translates well, but if you are planting grain, you will grow thunder. So you're just going to create something absolutely horrible and might attack you as well. I don't think they thought of it. I thought they like, oh, we're so clever, we're going to be doing this, take all the competition down, have our parasite pages ranking like crazy. And of course they manage, but they are now target as well. I don't think they thought other people going to attack them, because, we are all gentlemen here. Anyway, here's another really good question, that even if you counter fake DMCA, doesn't mean Google will act on it, and doesn't mean you will come back to index. And even if you counter successfully, doesn't mean you will be back in index. What to do in that case? If you don't mind, I have a lot of opinions here, because this happens that, as I said, Google doesn't have to send you an email. Okay, so you don't know what's happening and you might recover. So again, test. But it happens now and then that you get the fast queue and it says, yes, it was invalid. Sorry, we made a boo-boo and we de-indexed you even though we had no right to do that. And you recover. part 1, DMCA is lifted. Yay, we all celebrate. But there's a part 2, it needs to go to Google Index. And it usually does within that 12 to 24 hours. So if you are seeing that it's lifted and you are not back in index in 12 hours yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, because there is another team taking care of it. But if you are not in index back in 36, 72 hours, you know something is wrong. So just nudge the system, okay, just submit another. It will tell you, we didn't take any claim on this because it's lifted, but it will trigger the system to actually push it to the index. So here is something I observed through all of this. Yeah, Misha is raising his eyebrows. I do a lot of this. I do around 100 a day at least. So I always figure out a new trick. This is my latest. So if you get stuck, just submit another one. If you are seeing we didn't take a copyright claim, or we didn't take copyright action against this URL, it means it has been already lifted. And it doesn't mean nothing is going to happen. The system gets a little bit nudged, like when you are taking a lift down and it just goes down, and sometimes it gets stuck on the bottom floor. You just need to press the button again. This is exactly the same system. Just nudge it. Don't be afraid. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. So that's one trick I observed. We had the last few minutes, so feel free to talk about all of these issues that you submit and nothing happens back. Your cat is very cute, Misha. I just want to say, both of them. So have you observed this? Do you have any tricks and tips that you can share and make people's life easier? Daniel already gave up. He had enough of this grim topic. So Emma, do you have anything that you would say, I discovered this and this is awesome and I want you to try to use it?
Nora, as I said, the biggest tip I said that we've seen, and you commented on why it works as well, is that not using your business emails first to counter, and to keep doing it. So get multiple people as well to, if you've got friends and family that don't mind helping you out with this as well, then I would say get them involved. Also, the power in numbers.
Okay, Svetlana is asking here, who is working with the method that can return pages quickly to index? Reach out to me in LinkedIn. I will let you know how to do this. I don't like to share it publicly because I'm afraid there is always someone from this, friendly media listening to us, and then they will discover what I'm doing and I will find a way to attack it. So I don't share a lot of exact tips and tricks publicly, because I'm very paranoid by now that we're going to. But I think you can as well reach out to Sean. He knows a lot about DMCAs. He's really good in recoveries. Daniel, of course, can help you. And lots of questions about the repetitive ones. And people are saying you can send email to the removal at Google. I tried that. As I told you, just go to another AI. Legal forms are good. Again, now and then it works. Then sometimes it tells you like, oh yeah, we take a look at that. You are right, we were wrong. But many times it tells you go to the counter notice claim. So I think that's the number one that needs to change. We have got last 2 minutes. Let me go through the questions.
I think while you're going through that, Ivana, I think it's just important to note that what Ivana said is a very valid point, that you're not going to get the cutting edge techniques which are being utilized to counter these kinds of attacks on a podcast when out of 100 people or 200 people, however many people are on this podcast, I'm pretty sure that a huge contingent on that are the people who are potentially launching the attacks. Okay, so if you want to have to get real information, you need to have real conversations one-on-one. So feel free to contact, I think, any of us. I'm sure more of us would be more than happy to talk about our goals. Yeah.
Plus, as well, maybe us talking about it, I'm just always thinking about when I talk about like how easy it is to take the DMCAs and just ruin someone's income. I don't know if I'm not motivating someone to change their life career from recovery to attacks. Please, people, don't do it. Really bad idea. It is illegal. It is not nice. But don't you sometimes feel like we share so much? Somebody might think like, okay, I'm just going to start to sell these takedowns. I have been reached out recently for several takedowns. I always reject them, but they offer a lot of money. So I can imagine some people just say, okay, I'll try to take that. I'll try to do that for you. I think if you either have a need for money or you have a little bit of questionable morals, you might consider it as a job. None of us would, okay? I'm swearing, none of us would. We are all very ethical people here. And as well, one last thing, and I think this is important. Google claims that the recovery times are between 10 to 14 working days. That's not true. However, right now is longer. I think the question there is how long it is usually is. because we broke the system and we overloaded it, not just with the fake DMCA takedowns, but the recoveries. 10 to 14 days, it's a dream by now for the long recovery. Ideally, you get the 12, 24 hour, but by now I'm seeing months. Anyone else having an opinion here? I'm seeing months, and it's really not nice when you are 3 months, 1 quarter down for your main pages. Congratulations, horrible.
I mean, I've seen a case
Nobody.
recently where it's very, very similar on the root. Actually, 2 cases. When it's taken down on the root, some keywords still rank on some pages, but all of, let's say, the main money pages effectively are no longer ranking. So taking down the root on a DMCA strike seems to impact the overall potential of the website. It's quite rare, but I've seen it twice.
Yeah. Good, and that's our time. Thank you all for being here and sharing all your knowledge. Thank you for all the tips and tricks, all of you, and Ivana, who was amazing as always. Thank you, all the audience. I'm very happy you gave us 1.5 hours of your life, which is a lot to ask for, but thank you very much. And that's us. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.